Hello and welcome back to the Dr. Millennium podcast. I'm Dr. Millennium. Oh, sorry, that's right. I forgot. Dick Valentine couldn't be bothered to watch arguably the best anime of the season, barring maybe Steins Gate. So he won't be joining us today. So episode 11 just dropped. It was the Gearless Joe versus Glenn Burroughs fight. As far as reactions to that go, I think they were mostly positive, but personally, I wasn't the biggest fan of this episode. It kind of threw me out of it when Joe showed up in his gear. I mean, clearly they wanted to build up some tension, like, oh, what's he going to do? Is he going to throw the fight? But I think it was fairly obvious to anybody who's been paying attention that he was not going to throw the fight before he got to Yuri, and no one was going to let him. I did think it was pretty cool at the end how the boss sacrificed his eye. Pretty fucking neat. Good scene. Good way to end it. Give a little bit of tension, and like the dude said, the guy who wanted to see him fight more than anything now doesn't get to see it. I thought, nice little twist. As far as Joe going out with gear on, that was my main problem with this episode. I think that in order for Joe's character to stay consistent, he should have done it without gear. At all. Understand, the symbolism of, he broke out of the gear. That's so cool, butterfly kind of symbolism, but wasn't a huge fan. Personally, if you're going to fix a fight, put the odds as far against you as possible. I guess that part makes sense. He comes in with gear. Now, maybe it's a more even fight. So, as far as fixing it goes, that makes sense, but that was kind of his gimmick. So in order to give up your gimmick at the very end, that's, didn't make sense to me. As far as keeping his stamina up so that he could come back and win the fight, there it made sense, but that's a out-of-character storyline thing. That's not really, part of the drama, part of the character building. Other than that, I think episode 11 basically went as planned. I wasn't expecting anything different. I don't know of anybody who was watching this seriously who expected anything different than what happened. So, looking forward to episode 12. Oh, by the way, for those who are probably asking themselves what's going on with these, wrist straps are clearly not any kind of fanboyism. They're just, they're actually writing tools and sketching tools. So when you see the hashtag wrist wrap art challenge, know that started here. So episode 12, I think, is going to be filler. I think episode 13 is going to be more filler. But then I think episode 14 is going to be the Joe versus Yuri fight. And I'm sure it's already aired somewhere. What is going to be what? Don't comment being an asshole. So the questions I have, at least for myself, for the Yuri fight is Joe gonna wear gear? For the Yuri fight, they've teased the other super awesome gear model that Yuri, I guess they made two of. There's the purple one, and then there was another one. Oh, you can only use it if your body's at peak performance. So are they gonna give that to Joe? I have a feeling they might give it to him. But as far as the final fight goes, I don't think he's going to wear gear. That's, it's his gimmick. I know he broke that rule here, but I can't see them breaking that rule a second time. What I think is going to be even more interesting is whether or not Yuri decides to wear gear for this fight. He's been kind of watching Joe, building up a grudging respect for him. Now it's his turn to really fight him, even ground 1-1. I don't see him letting that opportunity pass, and I don't see him allowing Joe the opportunity to say, oh, well, you won because you've got state-of-the-art gear. They're going to have a straight boxing match, which, incidentally, would be probably the most interesting part of the show, is how they turned super mecha boxing match anime, and suddenly the final fight is a straight boxing match, and it's more interesting than the sci-fi mechanical aspect of it. So kudos to them if that's what they decide to do, but we'll see. Because these companies have a way of letting everybody down. As far as who's going to win, kind of too soon to tell. I think we'll know a little bit more by the end of the filler. Personally, I think it makes sense if Yuri wins. I can't see Joe coming through out of nowhere and, he wins it all. It wouldn't make sense. It's not a good story if Joe wins at the end. As of right now, him getting to where he's gotten is him winning. And I know his character is, I'm going to, do better and keep doing better and keep doing better. But to beat Yuri is unrealistic. I think it would kind of shit on everything that they've been building up so far. The world is really interesting, but you see all of Yuri's training. He's got the best of everything. He's got the altitude mask while he's running. He's got the punching bag that's 100 different bags at once, all coming from different angles, knowing exactly when someone's going to be knocked out. That shit is really cool, and it's really high-tech. So I can't see them letting him lose. Because from there, if they wanted to do a second season, how does Joe improve? Where's his character go from there? If there's still something for him yet to do, there's still a reason to watch the show if they want to make another, season or another anything. An OVA, it could be whatever, but it gives them more options if Yuri wins the final fight. However, from a production standpoint, from the sleazy company, like I said, it's going to depend on the filler. If they really build it up and they really, Yuri can't win, or Yuri can't lose, Joe can't win, kind of thing, I'm sure they'll do the upset because they think the fans will like it. But if they're looking to do a sequel, their best bet is let Yuri win, or, as it would be realistically, and this show has been fairly okay with being realistic so far. And if you're following along with the sketching at home, surely you as well already started and got a little bit on our first take when I dropped my phone. So just, keep up. Predictions for next episode is kind of, it's going to be boring. I think it's going to be a plot episode. Gotta have those every once in a while, keep it real. And then, 2 episodes of plot building, or an episode of plot building and 2 episodes of the fight versus Yuri. But it's a boxing match. You can't drag what amounts to a 9-minute fight out to 30 minutes. You could try. They might do it well. Like, if anyone's going to do it well, it's going to be this show. But I don't know. I can't see the boxing match being 2. Maybe 1.5 and 1.5. They'll break it up really nicely. Kind of halfway through episode 13, it'll be here the fight starts and it's looking bad. And then episode 14 is the conclusion, the finale. But that's what I got. We'll try again, maybe do an Evangelion review next time.